This is for all the marbles. Crossbow at 100 yards, and then Cade is gonna try and match him.
That was a deer, it'd be dead. It's in the 10-inch circle. Woo, put it in there, dude.
All right, guys, today we got a little bit different of an episode than we've done in the past. We want to decide, we all shoot different stuff. Tim shoots a crossbow. He can't shoot a bow anymore. Me and Connor are shooting bows, different bows. But we want to decide what's better, or does it matter? Crossbow versus compound bow.
So first of all, I shot a regular compound bow for over 25 years. I love shooting a compound bow, but I can't anymore. I have a bad right shoulder. Arizona Game and Fish Department has a deal where if you have a medical release, you can go to the doctor and get a sign off, and you can get a crossbow exception for the archery seasons. So I did that. My doctor signed off on it. I have a crossbow permit in lieu of an archery permit for archery deer, archery elk. So I have a 10-point RS 470, and it shoots 470 feet per second, and we've chronoed it. It's right in there at 470 feet per second with these arrows and some other arrows that I have. So it is, you know, just laser flat. It's easy to shoot. I shoot it very seldom. I don't have to practice a lot. Anytime I get trigger time with a gun, a rifle, it's almost the same as getting trigger time with this. And, you know, as we've been warming up here, I'm putting, you know, 3 shots like this at 40 yards. It's easy to shoot. There's not a lot of practice involved with it, which is kind of one of the benefits of a crossbow over a compound bow, in my opinion.
Before we start, what's your prediction?
If I'm gonna make a prediction, we're probably gonna do this in a few different ways. Right now, my crossbow is set up on a table. I think on a table, I'll blow the doors off of the compound bows because I'm able to hold rocks solid. Once we get going, we'll shoot either standing up and just, you know, regular off the shoulder, or we'll try shooting it off of a tripod in like a TricerUSA gun claw, where it's being held to the ground with a tripod, and see how accurate that is. But if we're shooting off a table, I'll absolutely blow the doors off of the compound bows, in my opinion. If I'm shooting off the shoulder, I really think it'll be a crapshoot. Even at 60 yards, I think that the compound bows will be able to shoot about as accurately as I can.
So I'm shooting a Matthews Lift, 29.5 axle to axle. I got this bow back in like March, and I've been shooting it for a few months, and I absolutely love it. I got a Spot Hog Fast Steady and this mule stabilizer on there, and I love it so far. It shoots really good and shoots some dimes. My prediction is that the Matthews Lift, I shoot a Matthews, it's gonna win. It's absolutely gonna win, no doubt in my mind. Whoever thinks it's not gonna win, they've never shot a Matthews before, so.
I am shooting a Bowtech SS34. I have a 31.5-inch draw. Right now I just dropped it down to a 31-inch draw, seeing how that is, just playing with it a little bit. I'm shooting the UV slider, which I absolutely love. I mean, everything is just rock solid, steady, super easy, not nearly as many moving parts as some of the other sliders that I've used. But I'm not quite as fast as some of the other bows, but I like it. We just came out of that Bow Disciples challenge a few weeks ago out in California and had a blast. I shot really well with it. I'm shooting right now, I believe, better than I've ever shot before. I'm not been shooting quite as long as some of these other people, but I think that I'm hoping that we can give the crossbow a run for its money. So that's my hope.
Middled it. So that's my group at 80 yards, you know.
That's the group crossbow at 80 yards. And that is just gonna be hard to beat.
In my opinion, it's a foregone conclusion that the crossbow on the shooting table is just gonna stomp the compound bows and win the competition. So I will never hunt off of a shooting table.
Right.
My style of hunting with that crossbow will be sitting in a tree stand or sitting in a ground blind. More than likely, I'm going to have some type of support, like a tripod, if I'm sitting in a ground blind over a water hole. And so, in my opinion, in order to make the contest more realistic to hunting scenarios, I should probably shoot off of a Tricer tripod with a GC gun clamp and set it up as if I'm in a ground blind over a water hole. I still think I'll beat you just because I have the support of the tripod, but nonetheless, it'll make it more realistic in terms of my style of hunting versus standing up shooting a crossbow.
Yeah, I definitely got to agree. I think I'm not a phenomenal shooter. I know there's definitely some guys out there that'll be like, oh, I can shoot a tighter group than that at 80, but you know what? I'm not that guy. So for this contest, I think we're just gonna forego, you know, give them their flowers, and the crossbow wins off the table. Now, to be honest, I think everybody pretty much expected that. I don't think anybody had too much faith in the compound bows, but we're gonna scale it back and try it in some more hunting aspects and see how it goes. All right, so we moved the targets. We've got one at 40, we've got one at 60, and now we're gonna take the crossbow off of the table and get it set up on the Tricer GC, and the rest of the Tricer tripod set up. We're gonna go off this, more of a hunting situation, and see how it goes.
It's definitely a different experience shooting off of this than the table.
Hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so my point of aim is right here, where the tip of my finger is. So my group is here. I cannot quite touch my fingers around. If I come out here, I can touch my fingers around it. Yeah, I can touch my fingers around this way, but that's not as big, or that's not as small a group as I was shooting off the table. But we need to make some adjustments a little bit to the right and perhaps down, but not a bad group, but not as good as I was shooting.
I have fallen to the classic blunder of my warm-up shots being better than my actual shots. So hopefully this group is actually good. I have confidence because I shoot a Matthews. Make sure I'm dialed right. Pro tip.
Right in there, dude. That's 3 tight.
It's not a bad group, but it's right, and it's annoying me.
I think maybe we'll kick your windage a skosh just to see where I go.
Because I was shooting really right at 80, and that's where my arrow went bye-bye.
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, that sight's been on there for what, 24 hours?
Yeah, so I'm still getting used to it.
For sure. But let's run up and see how he did. And dude, by the looks of it, this could be one.
Oh, I think I definitely beat the Crossbow on this one.
He could have. We're gonna have to look at play it back and look at the screen, but it's a very tight, very solid group. So
oh, maybe not. The fletchings, they definitely...
Fletchings were a little deceiving.
They gave us a really funny look. But I thought I was gonna be like right here, but I can't get my fingers around that one.
Not quite.
But
A little deceiving, but still, solid group.
solid group.
Pretty sure in the middle of that. That's a good shot, I think. I think it might be an inch high, inch left of dead center, but overall it felt pretty good. Let's see if we can match it. I think I did okay, but we're gonna come up here and check it out. Put my bow down here. Yeah, it looks like I had one little flyer, but my first and last shot, actually a pretty solid group. Honestly, it seems to me if I didn't pull that second shot, then I'd have been a lot better off, but unfortunately, I
If you'd
did.
have got it in there,
Yeah.
if you'd have grouped it, you'd have been as good as the Crossbow. All right, that right side, middle target.
I'm gonna dial to 60. Not to 80, not to 40, 60. I'm just gonna shoot dead center.
Stacking it right on everybody else's groups at 60 yards.
Might be the best group yet.
Definitely your best group of the day.
Yeah, I think we could be competing with the Crossbow here at 60 yards. So.
All right, we pushed out the crossbow bolts so that we can see them better. The crossbow just buries itself in the target, makes it a little bit harder to see. But here's the groups. I've got 2 touching and then 1 just below center. Connor's actually got a really nice group. And the crossbow is right in somewhere.
The Crossbow's better.
I kind of have to give it to the crossbow.
But I'm not far behind for being 60 yards, so.
Yeah. So
Crossbow wins.
I think the crossbow's got to win.
Okay, so pretty much as I suspected, I think, you know, in everybody's minds, we all knew that the Crossbow was going to be the winner. So we tried it off the table. The Crossbow is very accurate off the table. We tried it off of a tripod, and it was accurate off of a tripod. I've never shot it just offhand like this. So let's see how well the Crossbow can shoot at 50 yards offhand versus the compound bows. I'm aiming for the target on the left, dead center of the target. I've never shot it like this. Let's see what we can do. Right above the second shot. It's good up and down, but it's to the left. It's at 9 o'clock of the bullseye, but it's in that 10-inch circle. So a little different, a little weird.
First shot at 50 yards, going dead center.
First shot at 50.
Yeah,
Should be decent. Let's go up and check it out.
yeah, we all three shot pretty good. So
My opinion is that at 50 yards offhand, I think it's actually somewhat comparable. I don't think you're nearly as accurate with the crossbow shooting offhand. Speed is definitely where you're going to fall short with the crossbow, I think. If you get put in a timely manner, I think you're going to lose a lot of opportunity. But I think if you can get set up and stable, I think the crossbow's going to blow the other bows out of the water.
100%. Speed, not in terms of how fast the arrow is traveling, but how fast it takes you to get set up and
Right,
to acquire
exactly.
your target and to get, the crossbow cranked or drawn back is very slow, is very cumbersome. But for sitting a tree stand, for sitting a blind, I don't think you can beat a crossbow with a compound. It's just my opinion.
not me, at least.
There's a lot of other guys that are definitely better shooters than myself, but I mean, even still at 80 yards, he's stacking them inside a 3-inch circle pretty much every time.
This is for all the marbles. Crossbow at 100 yards, and then Cade is gonna try and match him after this shot.
I'm gonna go for the top target, and I'm gonna just shoot dead center. But here we go, safety's off. That was a deer, it'd be dead. It's in the 10-inch circle. 6 o'clock low, maybe 5:30 low. But what do you see, Cade? Same thing? I really am curious what people think. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that we can get these medical releases for crossbow hunting here in Arizona? Woo! You put it in there, dude.